Hi there. So it's Martha, and I want to tell you about our new HR feature. Even if you don't want to use quality driven to send out surveys because you're fearful of the time it'll take, which is generally less than 5 minutes a day, less than an hour to set it up and send surveys, or you're afraid of bothering clients, which, as I've always said, seems silly to me because your clients are going to get so much better service if you're asking them to rate their service and they take the 30 seconds to do it. But let's just say that none of that matters to you and it doesn't make sense to use the software to survey your clients. I want you to know about a new feature that we have, and we're just launching it. It's at the beginning stages, but yet we launched the most important part of it first. And that's tracking internal issues. Most CRMs don't have a great place to track employee internal issues. So, since we're about employee performance, we added an HR tab that allows you to track these things. Now, on our software, it's right here between employees and users, and you click on the HR tab, possibly. Okay, there we go. And this is how you do it. If, say, somebody has an unplanned absence or breakage or equipment damage, those kind of things, you go into new issue and you put the date. I'll use today's date. If it was something the client's involved in, such as breaking something on the client's property or so forth, then that's something you would want to track. You can also track client issues, but I'm not going to talk about that today. But let's say that this is an unplanned absence. So we're really not interested in, there's no client involved. So we'll go down and select the employee. We're going to say it was Jane Doe. And the issue is going to be unplanned absences. Here, I'll just start to type it. All right, there we go. Unplanned absence. And then it say, took off today because she's sick with the flu. If my employees tell me why they're calling off, which generally they do, I don't require it because we have a certain number of absences, and if you miss, you miss. But if they do tell me why, then I like to record it, because when you go to performance evals or you go and possibly have to fire them over these issues, you've got a way to remind yourself and to also remind them why. And then if there was a cost involved, you can enter that value. So for instance, when somebody calls off, even if we can reschedule those jobs, if we have to reschedule, I do put the revenue that we moved off of that day because of the employee having to miss work. I do count that against the employee. And it's just a matter of keeping track of it. But when it comes to performance reviews, I want to see what they cost me. And I understand that, nobody's perfect. There are going to be issues, but over time, if I see an employee that costs me $200 or $300 in 6 months versus somebody who's cost me, $1,500, that matters. And it's definitely going to go into the performance review. So this is a data-driven way to track it and to be able to pull this stuff up. So let's say I rescheduled 2 visits. I would put in a cost, let's say they're 140 each, so 280. And let's say this is her second unplanned absence within, my time period is 6 months. So that would be her second one. I would save it, and then it's there. Now, the great thing about this is, say it's performance review time, and I need to see um, how many issues that Jane Doe has, and I can put, let's put year to date, and I want to see what she has. I could look that up, and I could even print it out for the performance review period, and it's easy, it's informational, and I didn't have to go search through a big timeline of things. And the other great thing about this is it is currently hidden from the employees. Now, we may let you open that up later with customization that we're adding, but right now, these internal office issues are hidden. And when we do customize, I will let the employee see their own issues, but I don't want the other employees to see somebody else's HR issues. I don't mind them seeing their quality, but I don't want them to see their HR issues. If you're somebody who you don't want your employees to see any of the issues, then you can absolutely hide this. But for now, until it's further customized, it's hidden, and that's the default. And there's no way to be more transparent about that right this second. So anyway, hopefully that helps. And if you're looking for a place to keep your internal office issues, you can do that for as low as $29 a month. If you want to just send a few surveys and use this for HR issues, it's a great plan. So thank you very much, and happy surveying and tracking.